Oh my gosh, I forgot what week we're on. I think it's week 14. Yes, week 14. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Room to River 100 week 14 training update. With me, your guest, Harold. So last week was great. The weather was absolutely amazing. It cooled off. It was in the 60s, upper 50s at night. And only got up to like 80 a couple of days. We've still had our windows open. We had whatever the hurricane come through, Florentine, somebody like that. So all used within my training because I could. So let's get into it. Last week I got in 44 miles, which is a couple less than I was supposed to, but a couple more than I thought I would. I started my 1 mile interval training this week. That's a 3 by 1 mile, 15 warm up, 15 cool down, 3-minute interval in between, and 6 to 7% effort, so very comfortable pacing. I think each mile was my last one was in the low 8s, like a low 8:19, 8:20. The first one was like an 8:45, 8:50-ish. So I did really good on my pacing, felt really good about it. Nobody was screaming at me. My right hamstring was a little tight, my left shin has been responding a lot better since I've gotten the control inside my hip on my hip issues. That was a great interval workout, an hour and 10 minutes, done. And I didn't feel murdered after, so that was another positive. Took Wednesday, Thursday off. No, I take that back. I did run Wednesday with my wife. We ran out Barry Joe Andrews Road, a little gravel road we go out and back to from our house. 4 miles, done, good time. Get you to work without getting too nasty and sweaty and on time. And then Friday, I decided to move my training run, my long run Friday, which is a planned 24, on to Hard Climb Hill, which gives me an elevation of somewhere in the 4,000 range, depending on how many repeats I do of a specific hill, which is great for this area. They're all short, pretty moderate, steep climbs, which is very indicative of what the race is. It has a bunch of short climbs. It has those, 2 extremely long climbs when we go up and back up on our way back out towards the finish. I was out there and I got in 20 minutes before it started to drizzle, and 45 minutes it was just a rain. It was so incredibly loud. You lost your ability to think. I almost wish I had a pair of earplugs to put in. Just the patter off the leaves was intensely loud. It was great when I came back through. There's a clear cut area and just a 18-year-old, 15-year-old pine growth area. It was so quiet. You just hear the rain on the top of my head, on my hat visor. You could think again. It was so nice. However, this is the reality of running. This is, what happens when training. You're out in the middle of the woods. You've got nowhere else to go. Duck back, 90 feet off trail. Get back there, dig yourself a nice cat hole. Do your stuff, got back up, walked out, and started my jog immediately. And got a couple steps down on my jog and noticed that right about here, started to feel a little bit of a twinge. And I'm only 4 miles in, mind you. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to walk a little bit. So I walked for the next like 10 minutes. Figured I'll give it a stretch out. You know, it was hyperextended. I moved too fast. Yeah, I go, okay. It seems to be compliant, not getting any buggy. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. I go do my workout, you know, get all the way out, come all the way back, and refill up at the car, you know, hydrate, get everybody back together, and go back out and get as far away as I can from the car. And my knee starts to really hurt going downhill. I've got my poles out by this time already. I'm like, okay, well, I'm obviously not going to finish the mileage that I want. I'm going to have to cut this short. Even though I'm still going to have to get back to the car, mind you, I'm still going to have 21 miles. Regardless of what I do, it's going to be 21 miles. Like, I can't stop in the middle of the woods and expect anything to happen. So I slow down, and it's really great. You can really see it on my app when you look at the miles. I slowed down 1.5 to 2 minutes for the rest of the miles to go, which is 5.5, I think it was. You know, 1 mile, I think I slowed down 3 whole minutes, and that was one of the last, which has the longest. It's got a 3/4 of a mile incline, so I really just no push at all. And I noticed when I slowed down and took it very comfortable on the downhills, which was aggravating my knee more, that it began to feel better after about 3 miles of that action. So it made me feel good to know that, you know, when you do decide and make your mind up to address an issue, that a resolve can happen within 3 miles. Now, did it still like twinge a little bit? Absolutely. Was it good for another, whatever, 79 miles? Who knows? It was what I had to do to get back to the car without causing further injury that would hamper me from doing something tomorrow. Perfectly fine. Went home, ibuprofen, took 3 icings. I did a lot of rolling on the right side to work out anything that happened that had to address it, because it was, you know, compensating for that little niggle. So all worked out fine. Got in 21 miles. And then the other part of this long training was, it was all in rain, in a pair of shoes I've never run in the rain before. I've never run in Hoka's in the rain. These are the Speed Goats. Hi, Carl. I wanted to feel what that felt like. Wanted to know if they drained good. Wanted to know if my feet worked in them good. Everything worked out absolutely perfectly. And this was a good long enough, it was 4.5 hours in the rain. So it was, yeah, all the rain all the time. So they will work absolutely perfectly in that condition, no worries. So it was good to know in my mind that I don't have to worry about that as an issue. I just have to remember, you know, what you have to do to take care of your feet when they're that wet for that long, which is something luckily I've done before and have worked out. Basically change your shoes, get on dry stuff, dry your feet off, get on dry things, move about your business. So the other thing I bring up about this long training run is eating. I've been working the last 2 years on eating more carbs during the run. And I know this is a big thing with David Roche winning Leadville, saying he ate so many carbs, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what an amazing thing. Well, it's been a thing since he's done that. It is an amazing achievement what he did. Yes, carb eating has been a thing for a while. And it's really good to see that I've been doing this for a while and sticking to that 60 to 80 carb an hour, and sometimes up to 80 or 90 carbs if I can get it in. And then doing a protein shake immediately after these long workouts, or even all of my workouts to begin with, especially these long ones. I've felt much better during the effort and much better after the effort, not feeling like the muscles were overstrained and overworked, even though I'm doing the exact same amount of effort I've usually done all of my training cycles. It seems to be that the ease of it is much better, and my recovery is, I feel, significantly better because I'm fueling so heavy during these long runs, which means during your race, fueling is, the hardest thing we have to do, legit. Drinking and fueling. If we get there trained, we're gonna do the event, and hopefully, barring injury, outcome will occur and you will finish. Keeping that calorie content and that carb content for me has worked really, really well. I'm really happy with how my body handles it. It takes a little bit getting used to, because choking down to 80 carbs an hour is physically demanding. I tend to slow down as soon as I eat, especially if I eat something that has like 30 carbs in one little pack. I slow down for like 15 minutes. There's that slight warm sensation in your stomach that you get. That's your body going, I got to do stuff in the stomach. My digestive has to work. Everybody else take a break. Let me do all this work. I tend to give a little time for my body, 10, 15 minutes, to kind of start its absorption process and work through that initial block in the gut. In about 10, 15 minutes, I notice that little warm belly feel go away, and I know I can continue to push on a little harder and a little faster. Very simple thing for me. I learned it a very long time ago, especially training for Cruel Jewel, where I had these long sustained activities of power hiking and extreme push power hiking during, working at the gym training cycles, Stairmaster for 45 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And it worked out really well. So that's pretty much my big spiel for this week is eating. Make sure you've got your food game down. Try all the new things. Make yourself a cheese quesadilla and have a cheese quesadilla 18 miles into your run. Make yourself, get yourself some pickles. Grab a pickle at mile 12 during your run. See what an orange tastes like. Try the banana. Try 2 bananas during your long run. These are all the things that are going to be there and available to you. If it works, it's great. If you don't feel good about it, during the race, don't bother with it unless your mind tells you, I want that. Then whatever. My CLTs bumped back up to 53, so I'm steadily moving back up now from my little 2-week slowish. This week I'm giving myself a full-on, I'm only aiming for about 28, 30 miles. My longest run is going to be a 12. And I'm going to do everything really slow, a lot of hiking this week, and not a lot of even pushed hiking. So they're going to be a little longer mileage, time-wise events this week with lesser effort to get me ready for next week, which is a big bump up week for me next week. So keep working out there. Keep doing all the things you need to do. Take care of yourself. Thank all of the other people. We're getting on to it. It's next month, for crying out loud. What the heck? So We will see you again next week. Enjoy week 15. We'll talk later. Bye, everybody.